Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Elect Starr, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Navigating Grief and Loss here on the Golden Nuggets Health and Wellness channel. Grief is not a one-size-fits-all experience. It looks different, feels different, and unfolds differently for each of us. In today's episode, we're going to deepen our understanding by exploring the different types of grief, because naming our experience helps normalize it and reminds us that we are not broken, weak, or lacking faith. As always, we'll integrate clinical understanding, practical insight, and faith-based reflection, because healing involves the mind, body, and soul. Let's begin by looking at the many ways grief can show up in our lives. Section 1, Understanding the Many Types of Grief. We begin with abrupt grief. Abrupt grief is a form of common grief that occurs when a loss is sudden or unexpected, such as an accident, sudden illness, or traumatic event. This type of grief can feel overwhelming and disorienting. Scripture reminds us in Psalms 34, verse 18, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Even when loss is sudden, God's presence is immediate. Prolonged grief. Prolonged grief is a grief that lingers long-term and interferes with daily functioning. It doesn't mean a person is choosing not to heal. It means they need additional support. Faith does not eliminate the need for help. Galatians chapter 6, verse 2 tells us, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." Absent grief. Absent grief is the absence of emotional response following a significant loss. Some people feel numb, detached, or disconnected. This can be a protective response. There is no timetable for grief. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 reminds us that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Delayed grief. Delayed grief may initially appear as absent grief, but surfaces later, sometimes months or years after the loss. Often, life slows down and the reality of loss finally settles in. God meets us even in delayed pain. He is not bound by time. Disenfranchised grief. Disenfranchised grief occurs when a loss is not acknowledged or validated by society, such as miscarriage, divorce, estranged relationships, or unrecognized roles. But God sees every loss. Psalms 56 verse 8 says, "You keep track of all of our sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle." Collective grief. Collective grief is experienced by a community, nation, or the world, such as during pandemics, natural disasters, or acts of violence. In these moments, healing happens in community. Romans chapter 12 verse 15 reminds us, "Mourn with those who mourn." Climate or ecological grief. Climate grief, also known as ecological grief, reflects sorrow related to environmental loss. As stewards of God's creation, grief over environmental damage reflects care, not weakness. Secondary loss grief. Secondary loss grief occurs when one's loss leads to multiple additional losses, such as loss of routine, identity, independence, or security. This layered grief can feel exhausting. God strengthens us step by step. And last, anticipatory grief. Anticipatory grief occurs when we grieve before an expected loss, such as during terminal illness or major life changes. Research shows anticipatory grief can help some individuals emotionally prepare, though experiences vary. Our final section, benefits for anticipatory grief. For some individuals, anticipatory grief allows them to confront fears rather than avoid them, address unfinished emotional or practical matters, clarify misunderstandings, express love and say goodbyes, and prepare for life moving forward. These steps may reduce stress and support healthier bereavement later. Preparation does not mean a lack of faith. Even Jesus prepared his disciples for what was to come. In my closing reflections, if you recognize yourself in any of these types of grief, I want you to know you are not alone, and your grief is valid. Grief is not a sign of spiritual weakness. It is a sign of love. God walks with us through every form of loss, and healing is a journey, not a destination. Join us for our next episode as we continue this journey of understanding grief, building resilience, and finding healing for the mind, body, and soul. Until next time, be gentle with yourself and remember, healing takes time and you don't have to walk this path alone. Thanks for watching. If this message spoke to you, please like, comment, and subscribe for more prophetic teaching, spiritual growth, and inspiration.